It's easy to get lost in today's fast-paced world and overlook the small businesses around us. Our neighbors and loved ones who provide more than just service. They build communities. Thank you for joining us as we take a closer look into their world here on Business Showcase on Mountain Vision Channel 17.
Hi, I'm Reggie Richards, and this is Business Showcase. Today we're visiting Judy at 4 Shoe Repair in LaGrange. Now, Judy is a cobbler, but there's other names for shoe repair. We're going to find out all about that today, right here. Let's go in.
Reggie, welcome to 4 Shoe Repair.
Hey, Judy, I've been looking forward to this. It's going to be fun. I want to know all about the shoe repair business.
Well, there's quite a bit to know.
Because I'm a shoe freak.
Oh, that's my favorite customer.
Well, show me all around. Let's go. Welcome back, and this is Business Showcase. As I said, today we're visiting Judy right here in LaGrange at 4 Shoe Repair. Judy, the old-fashioned word for shoe repair, cobbler. Is that something that they still call a shoe repair?
A lot.
Trade?
A lot. We do being a cobbler, but there's a lot of people, the younger generation, that this is still new to them.
I remember, well, my dad actually was a cobbler, and I remember a saying from when I was a child that said, the cobbler's kids never have any shoes. You know, and nobody would know what the heck that means today if you talked about it.
Right.
But this is a trade and a skill. And it's really kind of a dying skill. And you explain that to me because people are in the throwaway shoe business.
They are.
And what is that all about?
Well, the shoe manufacturers want you to buy more shoes. So they've come up with a way to, what we call a molded sole. More so than a leather
Cheap
sole.
shoes.
Yes. That's it exactly, cheap shoes. People, I know, I've had my customers say, but oh, these are so comfortable. Well, yes, they are. Because you don't know it, but I do, how that shoe's made. And knowing that, and I show them once they get here, they're like, oh, that shoe broke, no wonder it broke. Because it is of more a breakable material that after you've worn a while, it will break up.
I mean, it's what you get for your money. And shoes are an investment. And I know you're going to know this question. I know you're going to. I'm not throwing you a curveball here.
Yeah.
But really, you're a podiatrist's best friend. You know feet.
Yes, I do.
So, I mean, podiatrists actually sell little samples of shoes in their offices, but they tell people, I mean, when your feet aren't healthy, the rest of your body aren't healthy. If you buy a lot of cheap shoes and wear them out, which young kids, people could tend to do. As we age, we know better. But you get bunions, you get corns, you get, other issues with your back because you're not wearing proper shoes. When you find a good shoe, they're an investment.
Right. It's
worth thinking about repairing them. So what are some of the things that you see typically with a shoe that needs repair and can be salvageable to continue having those in your closet and having them there?
Well, of course, my customers are always like, this is my favorite pair of shoes. Everybody owns their favorite pair of shoes.
I have more than one pair.
They want to keep them. And the main thing mostly are the heels. Especially women that wear high heels.
Yeah.
That when you look at that heel, there's not much of a heel you're walking on.
Right.
So when you're walking outside in the elements, on the concrete, in the dirt, that heel's not going to last that long.
No, concrete tears it up terrible.
Right, invisibly looking at it, you can tell there's not much there to walk on.
It's just like people think, if you don't brush your teeth or brush your hair and you walk around with a nice outfit, people notice that. But your shoes, people will notice right away. The soles of your shoes, how your heels look right. If they don't look good, it almost marks you for a person, somebody just they notice your feet.
They do.
Yeah.
I do everywhere I go. And they look at your face, and then I'm automatically going to go down to your feet.
I do too.
I do.
But I love shoes, and I've got a closet full of shoes. I can never get enough. And I'm guilty. I have bought cheap shoes before. But I have a couple pair of cheap shoes that I wear, and I only wear them in the summer with certain outfits, so they don't get a lot of wear and tear.
Certainly.
But I really have an investment in my good shoes, and I have had my shoes repaired more than once, and my boots resoled because they've broken in, and I love them.
Oh, certainly.
And I spent a couple $100s on those boots. I want them.
Certainly.
They're not disposable shoes.
And especially after you get them broke in, you want to keep them.
Oh, forever. I love my boots. They're comfortable.
Because even to me, one of the worst things you can do is break in a new pair of shoes.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Yeah. But once you get them broke in, then you have happy feet.
And you're in the happy feet business.
Yes.
I also see a purse here, and I have taken belts to shoe repair shops before and had them, fix the notches on it or whatever. And I mean, scuff marks and all that can actually come out of a shoe when it doesn't look good. So what all do you do here? What can someone expect? I mean, if they don't know anything about the shoe repair business, have no idea that they could use a shoe repair, a new customer, what would you say to them?
Certainly, everybody wears all styles of shoes. And the ladies have come to realize, for those that know me and know the business I do, that even in the summer, because my business is not as busy in the summer as it is in the winter, but they still have that favorite pair of sandals that has the elastic around the heel that can outstretch or it'll break, and then they'll come in and they're like, I love these. Can you fix these shoes? So yes, I replace the elastic in the heel of it. Or the other one is what we call the middle thong of a sandal. They can be wearing them, and sometimes their friend or whoever they're walking with at lunch step on their heel, and their shoe will break.
That's happened to everybody.
Right.
They know what you're talking about.
Right. I've had them to come in, and they're like, look what happened to my shoes. It's the only pair of shoes I've got.
In every story, even Cinderella, we have a story about a shoe.
That's right.
I mean, there's so many songs about shoes, but or the old soft shoe, or but heels break off too. I mean, and women have those issues where heels just come off, and then we're walking around with one shoe. You don't know what to do. And you love those shoes because you have shoes that just go with certain clothes. And every woman needs her traditional black shoes. I have like 5 pairs of black shoes, but I've invested.
Right, but you can't ever go wrong with basics.
No, gray, black, brown, and then you got to have 1 pair of red.
Yes.
Because you don't want to outdo red.
But you do want the red.
So, I mean, how do we keep those shoes nice and comfortable? I mean, looking good at all the time. Do you have some shoe tips for us on that? And also some of the things they can do if they bring a shoe. You're going to show us what we can do, how you repair, how you use these tools in here, and what they can expect when they come in to do that. So let's take a quick break.
Right.
We'll come back. I want to talk to you some more about how in the world you became a cobbler.
It's amazing.
Is it a good story?
Oh,
I have a feeling it's really good.
Definitely.
So stay right here with us. We're going to be right back with more with Judy at 4 Shoe Repair with Business Showcase.
Center Fire Precision is a gun store with a wide selection of pistols, rifles, shotguns, ARs, AKs, ammo, and accessories. Center Fire Precision has a gun range with a training center providing top quality firearms training for beginners, intermediate, and advanced shooters, and is dedicated to teaching the knowledge, skills, and attitude you need to be proficient in the use of firearms. Center Fire Precision is in Woodbury.
There's pizza, then there's Fox's Pizza. Hand-tossed, award-winning sauce, fresh ingredients, 100% real cheeses, your favorite meats and vegetables. Taste the difference. Need we say more? More! Baked to perfection and served hot. Fox's Pizza on Main Street in Pine Mountain. Call us at 706-663-2002.
Beckham's Pharmacy, your Health Mart pharmacy in Manchester, is more than just a drugstore. Beckham's is your hometown pharmacy offering genuine hometown care and concern. And you can always rest easy with pharmacists you have trusted and known for years. Carefully filled prescriptions in just minutes, not hours. Easy to find items without all the walking. Beckham's Pharmacy in Manchester, caring for you and about you.
Did you know flowers can talk? Flowers have been saying what we've been trying to say for years. I love you, thinking of you. Get well soon. Welcome home, and much more. And when you have something to say it with flowers from the Pedal Pusher in Manchester. The Pedal Pusher works wonders when it comes to translating our words into sweet and romantic arrangements. The Pedal Pusher even offers free local delivery, so your message arrives fresh and on time. So when you're ready to say something, say it with flowers. From the Pedal Pusher on Main Street in Manchester. 706-846-2052.
Welcome back to Business Showcase. I'm Reggie Richards, your host, but we're here today with the fabulous shoe repair lady. That's going to be my new name for her. Cobbler just doesn't fit her, but it's for shoe repair here in LaGrange. We're having a very interesting conversation. I can talk about shoes all day, but let's talk about more about the shoe repair and what you do. How did you actually get into this business, Judy?
I had taken early retirement from the company here in LaGrange. And I didn't originally have a plan of working, for 3 or 4 months, but I didn't take the early retirement not to work. So anyway, during that time that I was not working, my husband had to have some heels put on his cowboy boots. So I was like, well, where do you go for that? I mean, it's almost a lost craft anymore.
It is, very much so.
So I had seen a small sign down in the valley, and it said shoe repair. So I had gone down there to get my husband's shoes repaired. So I put the heels on them, but he told me, he said, come back next week and they'll be ready. So I did. So during that time, I was thinking, can I do that? So
Second career.
that's it. You have to reinvent yourself.
You do, absolutely. I know this for a fact.
That's right, you do. So I had, when I went to pick the boots up, and I had asked Pete, the man that owned the shoe shop, I said, can a lady do this? He said, well, you can do what you want to. And I said, well, okay. So,
It was a challenge.
oh, it was. And so I asked him, I said, have you ever thought about taking on an apprentice? Nope. And I said, well, is it something you might consider? I'll think about it. Because, I mean, he's just an old-fashioned shoe cobbler.
Yeah.
So anyway, I left him my phone number and such, and he called me back the next week, and he said, why don't you come down and try this for 3 or 4 days, and let's see if you like it. And I was thinking, okay, I can do that. Then I would know myself. So I did, and I stayed with him almost 6 months.
Really?
I did.
As an apprentice?
Yes.
And so you liked it that much right away?
Oh,
You did?
yes.
So let's start with that. So did it take you that long to actually get good at it, or you just stayed because you kept learning, or?
Oh, it was a learning process. I mean, there's so many different things the shoe cobbler does. It's not just shoes. It's not just women's high heels. But more than anything was learning how to operate the machines.
And you do have quite a bit of equipment in here.
Right.
I'm a little overwhelmed with the size of some of them. They look a little intimidating. So you weren't intimidated by those?
I was not intimidated by the finisher here behind me. What intimidated me was what a shoe cobbler calls a patcher. Most other people call them a sewing machine, but a patcher is what we call it.
Have you ever sewed before this?
I've sewed a little bit, certainly not a shoe or anything leather. So that's what bothered me the most, because sewing a shoe, because I have to pedal the machine. Because you don't need speed,
Right.
okay?
So when you're talking about pedaling and I'm talking about a shoe repair, show me what you mean by a pedal. What are you going to do with that?
So if the stitch breaks here,
Okay.
okay, and it separates,
Let's show our audience what we're talking about here. You're talking about the fine stitching along the seams here?
certainly,
Okay. So you're going to actually put that on a machine,
certainly.
and it's going to it's going to go in there. We'll show that too, also too. But-
Yes.
So you can repair that?
Sure.
You're kidding me?
No.
No?
But what scared me the most about it was, how am I going to hold that shoe, put it under that needle, and pedal all at the same time? It's like walking and chewing gum. But
Did you walk and chew gum then?
I did.
Because I don't know that I'm any good at that.
I did. But this was so different. But every day, I had a piece of leather, and I had to practice. And I was like, I don't like this. He said, keep doing it. And I was like, I really don't like it. He said, I know that. Keep doing it.
Did he like it?
Oh, he loved it.
I mean, he didn't mind doing that.
Oh, no, and watching him do it, it was just so simple, and it just came so easy to him. And then I'd get over there, and I'd go, now, how do I need to hold that? Because if you'll ever watch a cobbler holding a shoe, they'll hold them different than like you would when you pick up that shoe. And he just made it look so easy. But I conquered it.
Obviously, because you're here
Yes.
today and you have a successful business. So when somebody wants to they look at a pair of shoes, they're watching you right now, and they go, okay, I've got a couple pairs of shoes in my closet I'd really like to look at.
Sure.
You talked about with women's heels especially. We were talking about this. I am really bad with heels because they get caught in the concrete. I mess those tips up. I'll gouge those things.
Yes.
And, and then I'm like, I can't wear those anymore. And I'll try to color it with something.
Right.
And it's it's a mess. But I mean, these are investments. I mean, I spent money on these shoes. These are not throwaway shoes.
Right,
you know?
they're not.
So, I mean, at what point do you say, okay, I get rid of them, or I can? I mean, have you come with pretty bad looking shoes you
Ooh.
fix?
Yes.
Nobody brings you stinky shoes, do they?
Yes, they do.
Oh God.
And one cowboy had to take them back home.
No kidding.
Yes. And he was a cowboy. And I said, no, not until you clean them up. And he kind of looked at me, and I said, and I'm serious. No.
Oh, Judy.
But I was like, mm-mm. So, but he did. He said, I'll see you in a little while. So, because he came one morning.
Because some people have some bad foot odor. I mean, I wouldn't be able to work on that. What have you got? You got a trick of the trade there.
I keep something handy. You have to. And it kills germs. And it's a shoe disinfectant and deodorant spray. Because everybody's feet aren't, not stinky. So, no, I keep it very handy.
I bet you do.
Oh, I have to.
So you got them with the apprenticeship. You decided to open your own shop. That wasn't any threat to him to take away from his
Well, no,
business?
because now that was a conversation that he and I had. Mm-hmm. He knew I wanted to own my own business. And I told him, I said, well, I'm not going to be here. I'm going to be in LaGrange. He said, Judy, I'm 79 years old. I really don't care. I said, well, I want you to know this going in. And I have to say, Pete Gillesso was very kind to me because he also helped me get my equipment. A shoe cobbler knows a shoe cobbler that has equipment and such. And so, first equipment, he went with me to buy it because he certainly knew more about it.
And all because your husband needed his boots repaired.
Certainly. Mm-hmm.
Amazing, amazing. You've got lots of equipment here. We talked about doing a few things on that. You talked about the sewing machine that actually does the leather. Is not your favorite one. These are shoe polishers behind you?
No. This is what you call a finisher. Yeah. If you will look, you've got sanding paper on the different rolls because I need different textures of sandpaper, depending on what I'm doing to the shoe.
What do you mean a finisher? When you sand a shoe? You're sanding the sole?
Well, you have to get it prepped. Like the shoe I've got here. I can't work on it looking like that. I have to get it prepped.
So what are you going to do with that?
I'm going to sand it down lightly.
Mm-hmm. You know, in some countries and places, people find, the soles of your shoes offensive if you show them to them like that. Mm-hmm. I don't like looking at the soles of people's shoes, especially, when they don't look very nice like that. So
I do.
You do?
Because they got a hole in them, I want to point it out. And I have people that come in, and especially men, because, men spend more money on their shoes than women do.
Yes, they do.
And the rule
women
is...
buy more disposable shoes than men.
And as it's known to us, most men only own 6 to 8 pair of shoes. Women buy shoes to go with different outfits, whether it's fall, winter, school, whatever. Men don't. They have their basic browns, blacks, tan, a dress shoe, a casual shoe. They'll have a boot, or if they have a sport that they enjoy. Yeah, your average man owns maybe 6 to 8 pair of shoes. But we do have the exceptions. And I had
They'll wear one pair of shoes till they have a hole in the sole.
They will, yeah.
My mom told me she used to watch School and Back, and they put cardboard in the shoes.
That's right, they certainly did.
Because she wore the soles out.
The gentleman that owns these shoes had brought them in, not these, the pair he left with. He came in last week to pick up a pair I'd finished. And he said, well, I really wished I'd brought my other shoes because they had holes in the bottom. And he stood there, and he literally picked his foot up and looked at the bottom of this shoe, and it had a hole in it. He said, oh, here, just keep these. And he took the ones that I had finished and put on his feet. Oh, and he left me these. So now there's no holes. It looks good.
It looks like a brand new shoe.
Right.
So there's no reason to be disposable. Let me see that again. You really have done a beautiful job on that. That looks like
came from the manufacturer.
Yeah, from the manufacturer. Yeah. Now, how long have you been doing that? How long have you been here?
Here at this location, or doing the shoe repair? This is in my 4th year.
Wow. So you've seen a lot of shoes.
Yes.
You get up close and personal with people when you start repairing their shoes. You know that, right?
I'm very up close and personal.
You can't not be.
Right.
This tells a lot of where they've walked, what they've done.
Right.
Have you ever thought about writing a book about repairing shoes? Why don't you? You've got some
I
fun
repair
stories.
shoes. I haven't thought about writing a book about
Well, that's
it.
on your next agenda. I want to say.
Is that when I reinvent myself again?
No, it's going to be part of this process. I don't know who your next apprentice is on that, but you've got some great stories to talk about issues. Let's look at some of your equipment. Let's get into what. Oh, well, I do want you to show me how to sand that, because if you like this and this bothers me, so will you stay with us, because I want to come back and do a little bit, and I'm going to learn some other things. We're going to stay with Judy right here at Forest Shoe Repair in LaGrange.
These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you.
Most of the time, we plan ahead. Our wedding, children's education, even retirement are things we can plan for. Unfortunately, we can't always plan for when we leave this life, but we can plan for how we'll be remembered.
I'm Jimmy Evans, a funeral director here at Cox Funeral Home. Since 1921, we've been helping families plan for the unexpected. Our pre-planning process takes the burden and guesswork away from your family and allows you to decide while you're living how you'll be remembered.
Stop in for a free pre-planning guide or visit coxfh.com. There's even a pre-planning form online. Visit either of our 2 locations in Manchester at 93 Prather Barnes Road or in Hamilton at 240 Walton Street.
At Manchester Farm Garden and Hardware, we have everything you want in a hardware store and more, like our famous nuts and bolts selection, the largest in the area, our American-made tools with 5 to 10-year warranties. From our plumbing supplies to our high-quality paint department, we are the exceptional choice for all of your indoor and outdoor needs. Come see our garden plants, outdoor decor, and bird feeders. Don't forget to check out our unique gift selection with John Deere toys, Duck Dynasty wear, and inspirational gifts at Manchester Farm Garden and Hardware, Warm Springs Highway in Manchester. For over 24 years, Cricket's Restaurant in Pine Mountain, Georgia has served delicious dinners in a beautiful country setting. Our menu has a large variety of traditional appetizers. Fish lovers, Thursday and Friday night is all-you-can-eat catfish night with all the fixins. And our famous 14-ounce ribeyes are hand-cut and served with perfection. Also, try our genuine New Orleans sampler platter. Don't forget our children's menu and desserts to round out that perfect meal. Come eat with us at Cricket's Restaurant in Pine Mountain, Georgia on Highway 18. Check out our menu online, too, at cricketsrestaurant.com.
If you are a business owner, please listen to the following. Employees who use drugs are 5 times more likely to file workers' compensation. 10 to 20% of workers who die on the job test positive for alcohol or drugs. The highest rate of drug use has been reported in construction, food preparation, and waiters or waitresses. Find out how you can protect your business and staff from accidents caused by drug-induced employees. Call Drug Free Works for complete details or visit drugfreeworks.com.
Explore the wonderful world of illumination and the artful world of home decoration at Light Styles and the Frugal Frog in LaGrange. Light Styles can fill every lighting need under the sun, from chandeliers to pathway lighting, large or small homes, even commercial lighting, contemporary and traditional, and in between. Light Styles has it all, indoors and out. Also visit our home decor consignment shop, the Frugal Frog, exclusive reclaimed and handcrafted furniture, along with exceptional specialty decorative items. Light Styles and the Frugal Frog, 216 Commerce Avenue in LaGrange.
We're continuing our visit today here with Judy at Forest Shoe Repair in LaGrange. Judy, you've been such a wonderful guest today. You've actually, schooled me on many different things, and I have looked at this beautiful antique equipment. Really, it never grows old because the mechanics are so basic. They continue to do the work. You said nothing intimidated you as much as these sewing machines?
Right.
You actually let me sand on and what did you call those machines?
Finisher.
The finishers over there, working on the soles, because you had to prep them before you actually do any more repair on those.
I do.
And so you have to add the sole after you prep it. It's kind of like sanding a floor before you put the
That's
varnish.
right. You got to get it prepped.
You got to get it ready. So you spend the time on that, and then you actually can apply the sole. You actually showed me the other machine over here where you did that finishing around the edge. What was that called?
Skiving and tapering the new sole to what we call the welt of the original shoe.
So on that particular machine where you were doing, say it again, what did you call it, a what? A skiver? Or, and it actually, it looks like it was like reminded me of when you're making a pie and you go around and do your thumbprints on the edge, on the edge.
Right, yes.
But it was.
But it does it for you.
Yeah.
It takes the what we call a 12-iron sole, and it tapers it. We call it skiving. It's tapering.
Well, there's all kinds of words for cobbling. It's the cobbler language. I'm learning some how to speak cobbler today. And I did bring up pie.
Yes, right.
I actually kind of made a joke with you when we first met, talking about Geppetto and Pinocchio. And a lot of people just associate, cobblers with him from that old story of Pinocchio.
And all cobblers being men.
All expecting it to be a woman. But you're amazing that you picked this up and reinvented yourself. When became an apprentice, you let me be a little bit of apprentice today. I am a little bit overwhelmed, and I've sewed a lot more than you said you did.
That's right.
And, so you're going to show us right now on this sewing machine, which is a Singer. And they don't make these anymore.
No, ma'am.
Not at all. So what are you going to be doing with this shoe?
Well, the lady that owns this shoe, the dog decided he liked it.
Oh.
So he broke the strap on it, and she came in and she said, I just bought these, and said, I want to wear them. Can you repair this? So I'm about to repair it. I'm about to re-sew it.
The dog chewed right here on the design on the top that goes over the top of the foot.
Well, I already had it pre-prepped and glued and everything, and I have to glue everything before I sew it, because if I don't, once I get it on the presser foot, it'll move on me.
So are you charging the dog for this repair or her?
I think I'm going to charge her. I think I'm going to let her deal with the dog.
So you showed me something really cool about this machine a minute ago, that it has a 360-degree turn.
Yes, it
and
does.
How easy is that to sew? When you worked on traditional sewing machines, it's frustrating?
Well, it's easy now that I've got the gist of it, because the harder thing to me was to leave the shoe alone and let me just control turning it, and then the shoe will move for me.
Okay, well, let's see how you can fix that. So if your dog chews your shoes, or it just happens to have some kind of this accident happened to it.
That's right.
Bring it to Judy. She's the shoe doctor.
That's
She'll
it.
take care
I've
of
been
it.
called that.
You've been called the shoe doctor too?
Absolutely. I have what we call a little bunion, I guess you would call it.
Shoe stretcher?
Yeah. Yeah, and then I have extra pieces that I can insert into the stretcher.
Oh, you're kidding. So they actually kind of mimic the bunion shape?
I can.
Oh, my goodness. There's another thing people don't think about when they
Right.
think about shoe repair.
Yes, but I do.
Okay. And what about people with diabetes and other issues with their feet that have problems, and they have a lot more shoe issues than anybody else?
They
don't
do.
And do you see a lot of that with your business to help them be comfortable? And
Yeah, because with people being a diabetic, you have to be real particular about what part of the shoe you're repairing, and that you don't want to put nails in it where it could go through and maybe puncture their feet, because then they have a hard time for it to heal. So I have to be real
you're very
cautious.
conscientious about all of that.
Certainly.
And it's
Certainly.
not. It's actually a consultation when they come in. Then.
Oh,
Really?
yes.
So you get to know your customers that well.
Yes.
So if our audience today is listening, you recommend, if you have shoes that need repair due to damage, resoling, renailing,
Right.
gluing, stretching,
Right. If you got a belt.
a belt.
Right.
I've
yeah.
got some really expensive boots that I put some money into, and I don't intend to ever get rid of those boots, because boots really don't go out of style.
They do not.
I mean, when you have a good pair of boots, they don't go out of style. So you need to, take care of your boots. Is there another way do you polish here too and prepare the?
I do. And that, of course, is part of being able to maintain that boot, is if you keep the upper part conditioned for the weather and the elements, then you'll keep it that much longer. But a lot of people will buy what we call exotic skin boots. I mean, they're beautiful. But you also need to make that other investment in getting the polish that goes with that kind of skin on that boot.
So something about getting to know you today is I just really enjoyed it so much. One of the things you said is you notice people's shoes. They go right from here to there.
They do.
It's like running into your hairdresser out somewhere,
That's
and your
right.
hair is on a bad hair day. Judy's going to see your shoes. She's going to go, you need to bring those shoes into me.
Yeah.
Well, Judy, it's been so exciting to be a part of your day today. Thank you for letting us come in and interrupt your business. I mean, I've had fun.
I have too. I've enjoyed it.
I have really had a good time, and I recommend that you go into your closets, you think about those shoes, you think about becoming a partner with Judy and taking care of your shoes. Visit her, stop in for shoe repairs right here in Hogansville. Hogansville Road and LaGrange. It's real easy to find. Your phone number?
706-884-4180, and we're open Tuesday through Friday, 9 to 5.
To have your business featured on Business Showcase, call us at 706-846-3016.